It all started with a single sentence that silenced an entire room: "I'm engaged." The declaration came from Mark Trent, a rugged miner with a reputation for tall tales, as he leaned back in his chair at the crowded bar on Station Pixis 12. His words landed like a thunderclap, halting the din of conversation and laughter that usually filled the room. For a moment, everyone stared at him, unsure if they had heard correctly. Then, like a pressure valve releasing, the room erupted into uproarious laughter. Engaged? To who? Your reflection? Dale, the gruff bartender with a penchant for sarcastic quips, chuckled as he wiped down the counter. His remark set off another round of guffaws. But Mark didn't join in. Instead, he grinned a broad, confident grin that only added fuel to the disbelief. To an alien woman, he said, his voice steady and unwavering. The most beautiful being I've ever laid eyes on. The laughter grew louder. Mark Trent was known as a dreamer, a man who could spin stories so vivid you'd almost believe them until you remembered who was telling them. He was the kind of guy who claimed he'd once wrestled a void WYRM or found a vein of pure starlight in an asteroid. But this was a new level, even for him. "Oh, come on, Mark," Dale said, rolling his eyes as he leaned on the counter. "That's probably just some trinket you found digging through asteroid rubble." Mark's grin didn't falter. Slowly, deliberately, he raised his hand. On his finger was a smooth silver band, etched with intricate alien symbols that seemed to shimmer and shift under the dim bar lights. The room quieted slightly, curiosity beginning to creep in. "Her name is Alara," Mark continued, his voice carrying a weight of sincerity that made a few people exchange uneasy glances. "She's from the Zixara system. We met during a salvage mission near Proxima Centauri. Saved her life, actually. We've been connected ever since." The crowd's laughter faded into skeptical murmurs. The name Zixara didn't ring a bell with anyone in the room, and Mark's claim sounded outrageous. Yet there was something in his tone, in the way he spoke, that made people hesitate. For the first time, they weren't entirely sure if he was joking. "So where is she now?" someone shouted from the back. Mark hesitated, his gaze dropping momentarily to the silver band on his finger. "She's sorting things out. Politics back home. Complications." The skepticism returned full force. The crowd erupted with jeers and laughter. "Sure, buddy," Dale said, smirking. "We'll believe it when we see it." Over the following weeks, Mark's story became the station's favorite joke. Everywhere he went, people teased him. "When's the wedding, Mark? Got the intergalactic guest list ready?" Even his closest friends thought he'd finally cracked after years of mining in the void. But Mark endured the ridicule with an almost serene patience. He worked his shifts, kept to himself, and wore that strange silver ring like a badge of honor. Behind the scenes, however, Mark's life was far from peaceful. Each night, he sat by the comm station in his modest quarters, staring at the cryptic interface Alara had shown him before they parted ways. He left messages, softly spoken words of hope and longing, hoping she would hear them. "Alara," he whispered one night, his voice barely audible over the hum of the station's life support systems. "I hope you're safe. I'm waiting for you." The morning Alara arrived, the station's routine shattered. It began with the arrival of an unregistered vessel. The sleek, alien ship glided into the docking bay like a wisp of smoke, its surface gleaming like liquid mercury. It was unlike anything the station's inhabitants had ever seen, its iridescent glow shifting in mesmerizing patterns. The station's AI announced the arrival, sending a ripple of curiosity through the populace. By the time the ship's ramp descended, half the station had gathered, whispering and speculating. When Alara stepped out, the crowd fell silent. She was breathtaking. Her skin shimmered like polished pearl, shifting hues with every graceful movement. Her eyes were luminous, swirling pools of deep violet that seemed to pierce through to the very soul. Long, silken hair floated gently around her, as if defying gravity. She wore flowing robes of translucent fabric that seemed woven from starlight itself. And her presence radiated an aura of both regality and warmth. Mark pushed through the crowd, his heart pounding. When their eyes met, the rest of the world seemed to fade away. "Alara," he said, his voice trembling. Her lips curved into a soft smile as she extended her hand. "Mark." He took her hand, and the connection between them was palpable, almost electric. Alara turned to face the stunned crowd. Her gaze both regal and kind. "I am Alara of the Zixara Dominion," she said, her voice melodic yet firm. "Mark Trent is my chosen partner. I have come to honor our bond and take him to my world." The crowd erupted into chaos. Questions flew from every direction. How did this happen? What do you want with him? Is this some kind of invasion? Alara raised a hand, and the air seemed to hum, silencing the crowd. "Mark saved my life," she said. "When my vessel was damaged in a solar storm, he risked his own safety to rescue me. In my culture, such bravery binds souls. It is a bond of gratitude, respect, and love." In the days that followed, Alara's presence on the station changed everything. She shared stories of her homeworld, painting vivid pictures of crystalline cities and oceans of light. She demonstrated advanced technologies that left the station's engineers scrambling to comprehend. But not everyone welcomed her with open arms. Rumors spread of spies and hidden agendas, and the station's governing council convened an emergency meeting to discuss her presence. The tension reached its peak when a rogue faction, fearing an alien takeover, attempted to sabotage Alara's ship. Mark and Alara worked together to thwart the attack, showcasing not only their bond but also the potential for cooperation between their species. In the end, Alara's wisdom and Mark's courage won over even the staunchest skeptics. The council granted them their blessing, and the couple prepared to depart for Zixara. On the day of their departure, the docking bay was packed once again. But this time, there was no mocking laughter only cheers and well wishes. Mark and Alara stood at the base of her ship, hand in hand, as they bid farewell. "You'll come back, right?" Dale called out, his voice tinged with genuine emotion. Mark grinned. "You bet. Got to show you all the wedding photos." As the ship's ramp closed and it ascended into the stars, Mark's words echoed in everyone's minds. "Sometimes, the greatest adventures aren't the ones you seek. They're the ones that find you." And so, Mark Trent's story, the tale of the miner who fell in love with an alien, became legend. Not just on Station P. Ixis 12, but across the galaxy, inspiring countless others to look beyond the stars and dream of what might be waiting out there.